Welcome everybody to History International Film Festival Austria of this year's 2024 edition. We're here with Leif Eisenberg, producer, writer and also actor in the film Ritter, Tod und Teufel, in English Night, Death and Devil. Leif, if you wouldn't mind, would you tell us a little bit about your film, what your role in all this production was, because we've already heard that you a major part of the movie, and well, to give us a glimpse behind the curtain.
Yeah, of course. First of all, thank you for screening my film at the History Film Fest in July. I'm very much looking forward to it. Yeah, Night, Death and the Devil tells the story of a disillusioned crusader who summons the devil to get his murdered wife back from the dead. Yeah, I'm now 23 years old. I was born in Upper Bavaria between Innsbruck and Munich in Hausham. And yeah, I study screenwriting at the Filmakademie Baden-Württemberg in Ludwigsburg. And themes that run through my work are romance and madness, the everlasting search for God, and death as the only certainty. So yeah, what especially inspired me for the short film Night, Death and the Devil, of course, was the copper engraving by the same name by the wonderful German Renaissance artist Albrecht Dürer. He probably is my favorite German artist. And what I so very much like about his paintings are that they're very, of course, religious paintings, but they are also very realistic. And I love how naturalistic and human the most fantastical creatures, angels, demons, are in his work. And this, of course, is something that generally fascinates me in the Renaissance or late medieval era, that suddenly the human as an individual, not a collective group as part of Salvation history, but the human as an individual suddenly is in the center. So yeah, there are several themes which I wanted to explore with Night, Death and the Devil. I mean, it is set during the Hussitenkriege, during the Hussites' war, which were 100 years before Albrecht Dürer painted Night, Death and the Devil. Yeah, but we only had like costumes for 1405. Okay, so we set our story there. Well, and there are several questions that fascinated me, of course, for this film. One question, maybe the question that fascinated me most, was the question, okay, can a war ever be just? And especially, of course, a crusade. Okay, now we can say crusades, they are long gone. They happened in the Middle Ages. But unfortunately, really unfortunately, they are still happening. I mean, the Patriarch of Moscow, he promised every Russian soldier who falls in the war against Ukraine, he promised them that they would go straight to heaven. He promised them a martyr's death, which of course literally is a crusade against the West. against our free world. So yeah, stuff like that is still going on, shockingly enough. And yeah, I think religious extremism still is a huge problem in our modern world still. So yeah, I think the meme still has relevance. And then of course there are like other questions that interested me. Okay, what would happen if somebody would come back from the dead? Could the person even tell something or not? Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. I think it probably is like all the themes I wanted to explore. They're too short. No, they're too much. The themes are too much for only 30 minutes. So I think that we would have benefited from 90 minutes or 120 minutes. But yeah.
Okay. We've seen that you are not the only one that made the film. Of course, there is a whole team that you provided with the credits on your submission on Film Freeway. And we've seen that, most importantly, Noelle Götz is also part of your production, your director. She can't be here with us today, but maybe you want to tell us a little bit about her as well.
Okay, of course, I can tell you something about Noelle. Yeah, I didn't want to do like everything in this film. I already acted and wrote it together with two friends and produced it. So I thought, okay, it would be like good to have a director. It would be good to have a director. So I can concentrate on acting. Yeah, so then I was looking for a director and I asked Noelle, who I didn't know before. She was a friend of, or she is a friend of the DOP Elias. She studies with him together in Nuremberg. I mean, we shot the whole film in and around Nuremberg. So yeah, she then spontaneously became our director. Yeah.
We've seen from your film that there's a strong focus on outfits and appearance and the visual aspect of portraying the late Middle Ages. Can you tell us more about how you collaborated with the actors or maybe reenactors, or how did you get such a colorful ensemble of people portraying knights and damsels and everything in between in the medieval era?
And of course, the demon outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you that you like the costumes. I would have preferred also medieval hairstyles, but okay, I had I had short hair. Next time. Okay, yeah, the costumes. I have a very good friend, Dr. Matthias Kuhn. Well, he's studied history in Heidelberg. And yeah, he's also a reenactor, and he made the costumes. He made most of the costumes. Unfortunately, he didn't have like time to make all the costumes. So yeah, for example, like the costume of the monk, I just bought it in on I think Burgschneider or something. And also the dress of Aurelia's dress. It's also just like cotton. As unfortunately, it's not wool, what I would have preferred. Yeah, but most of the costumes were made by like Matthias, and yeah.
Oh, so it's very important for you to have it be authentic from the materials as well as from the specific time period you're portraying.
Yeah, I don't know if like. If it's, well, that is a good question. Look, I think for me, I think is more important is that it tells like, that it feels real. It doesn't like necessarily, it does not have to be completely authentic or historically accurate. That for me is less important than creating a feeling of authenticity. So yeah, for example, I love the movies Excalibur from 1981, and I love The Seventh Seal, which of course in no way historically accurate movies, but I think they feel very authentic and gritty. So yeah, and of course the devil makeup was made by my friend Luna Kaiser. I think she is wonderful. She yeah, she studied. She now finished university. She studied makeup design in Munich, at the Theaterakademie August Everding. Yeah, and she also worked on Last Voyage of the Demeter, like this Dracula movie that came out last year. So yeah, I had huge luck that she did the devil for me. Yeah.
We also think that making films, specifically narrative films with costume, is a very rarely seen thing going on in our last few years in Europe. Seen from our festival's perspective, at least, because we got submissions of all 4 time frames that we show, and medieval times is one of the least submitted time frames, and also narrative films in the same is even more rare. So do you think that creating something with costumes set in medieval times is harder than doing it in other times, or is it just less pleasing, or where is the reason for that?
I do not think it's harder. I do not think so. Of course, it's harder. No, I mean, the budget for this film, now it's only a short film. It's not not 100% professional. I understand it, but the budget only was 5,000 euros. So I don't think that's like too much. The city of Nuremberg thankfully gave it to me. I don't think it's more difficult. No, actually, I really don't think so. Okay, a battle scene, then a huge action scene is more difficult. But even that it's manageable. People have done it before. It's just like, okay, when like production companies hear, oh, it's set in the medieval period, then they think, oh, it's gonna cost $2 million. It's gonna cost $10 million, but it does not have to, because you can tell. I think you can tell a lot with little. Of course, then there are some people who say, then don't even like try it if it won't look like Game of Thrones. Okay, but hopefully one day it will look like Game of Thrones, right? So.
You're also the writer of the film. Is it that you come up with an idea and then you look for what time's the best? You already mentioned that you had to make a compromise because of the costumes. Is it the first thing you come up with? I want to make a film in the medieval times, and then what the film will be about, or is it? Could your next film, for example, be set just as well in present day, or will it more likely be set in a previous era as well?
Yeah, well, my last film was set in the today. It was about a serial killer who seeks solace in the sacrament of confession. So yeah, I think the themes that interest me, I can also tell like today. But if I tell these stories today, they somehow seem less colorful and fun. Not that I personally would prefer to live in the Middle Ages, but if you set a story there, it suddenly becomes fantastic, adventurous, exotic. So yeah, I personally prefer historical movies. I think they are more fun, but I also do like contemporary movies because, of course, I also have to do this. I have to do this. I don't want like to be reduced.
Yeah. Okay.
Who makes medieval movies?
Is there something like a special accomplishment or a fun anecdote you want to tell us about your film production?
Yes. I want to. There's a great anecdote. One moment. Yeah. There is this famous Nuremberg family called von Tucher, and they were portrayed by Albrecht Dürer. And which is funny that Bernhard von Tucher, he's not still alive. He's not 500 years old, but he's the descendant of the Tucher family. He financed our film, which of course is so fun because now I have a link to Albrecht Dürer. to this great artist, way greater than me, of course, but still it's great that I have now this historical link to Albrecht Dürer, that I now know a person whose great grandmother was portrayed by my favorite artist of all time. That of course is great, I think.
That's true. So thank you, Leif, for taking time and doing this interview with us and providing some info about the film. We hope that you still continue making films set in historical times and themes, because you know our festival and our lives are all about that. And we wouldn't like to miss you in the future of having your great productions being part of our stuff. So thanks again for taking your time, and we hope we'll see one another again.
Thank you a lot. I would like to come, yes.